Hey everyone, it's Blue Lizard Jello and welcome to Everything Possible in The Surge 2. This is the latest game from Deck 13 Interactive, the sequel to the hit The Surge, the original sci-fi Souls game that I debuted on this channel a few years ago. I'm really excited to dive into this game. Now this is the Everything Possible series, which means this is my 100% walkthrough that will cover all item locations, all weapons, all bosses, all NPC questline, and I'll be showing you how to get the unique kill for each boss so you can get that special Pro or 2.0 weapon. But without any further ado, let's dive right into Everything Possible in The Surge 2. Unlike in The Surge 1, The Surge 2 does feature a character customizer. Now, if you'd like to take a look at all these different backstories, you can absolutely pause the video. I won't be reading through them simply because, well, they are only backstories. It is just unique to your character and really has no bearing on the story of The Surge 2 as a whole. Not only does it not have a bearing on the story, it also does not have any implications on your character and how they progress stat-wise. Everyone starts the same way, you just might look a little different, although you can customize your character to look however you like no matter what your background is, and it just gives a little bit of flavor text here and in a couple other spots throughout the game. Of course, you can also change your gender, male or female, and then you can go through all of the customization options over on the far left hand side, and you can make it look however you see fit. So I will be choosing my background and customizing my character, and I'll be back in just a moment. And here we have our character, a CREO certified field technician, repairing robots day in, day out, ensured a safe job as a hardware and software expert. That is, until an advanced AI protocol made your position redundant. Luckily for you, CREO sponsored a first-class flight to Jericho to help a loyal ex-worker find a new assignment. Let's dive right into The Surge 2.
Medical report TS1. Our new patient has been in a semi-delirious state for weeks. The subject seems to be reliving traumatic memories of Flight 221. A girl. Some sort of anomaly.
It's not over.
But this can't be true. There was only one survivor in the crash.
Look out! It's gonna kill you!
We wake up here in this medical facility with some haunting visions of that plane crash, Flight 221, of which we were, of course, a part of, and the doctors who are treating us talk about how we discuss a girl that was on the plane who also survived, and yet they're saying we were the only survivor. So right now it gives us some tutorials here, not a whole lot we can do. We can't start punching with our defibrillators here, but we can't even access an inventory at this time. We can't do any of that until we find our Exo-rig. So we're going to run back here behind these tables, grab our medical staff keycard, which is the required item in order to get out of this room. And inside now it's already telling us to start preparing for combat. So we have this drone coming up. I can block using the left bumper, just like that. Take it out with a few light attack combos. In fact, in the Surge, you don't have light and heavy attacks necessarily. You have horizontal attacks, and then you have some vertical attacks. This can make a big difference when you are fighting certain enemies if you're trying to target certain body parts, but we'll talk more about that when we discuss dismemberment. Inside this door, we do have a medical pack. Now this is something a little bit unique to The Surge 2. The medical pack, as it says, the first aid station will refresh your health or gain 1 injectable pre-charge if your health is full. Now we don't have any injectable, so we don't want to waste this just yet. But let's grab this audio log.
Medical report number TS2. The patient you brought me some weeks ago is still in coma. Cannot determine if she's infected. Sirs, I am just level 1 doctor in a police detention facility. But I do not recommend transport, not yet.
some sort of very large creature just broke through. So we just got some information from the doctor there. Now as we go through, inside this quarter, luckily that creature actually broke this door open to us, but we can see we're now in cell block B. There's some humans down there fighting off the drones. We have our own drone to deal with right here. Let's go ahead and block that, take care of it with a couple of horizontal combos.
Let's see what you got.
Now inside here, we're going to learn more about backstabs later on through tutorial, but as long as we walk carefully, well, not that time, we can usually get a backstab on this guy. Now these are just unarmed human combatants, so we don't have to worry about too much, but we are going to be talking about the difference between unarmored and armored targets here momentarily. That door is shut, so we want to drop down, watch the fire. We have that enemy straight ahead, and as soon as we get outside, he's going to start throwing rocks. Now I just want to walk up and start unleashing some horizontal attacks right on his head, kill him nice and quick. None of these doors down here open, but inside here we do have another audio log, and we also have a first aid station, so remember that. We're going to want to use those to fill up our pre-charges here soon. But if I try and interact with one of these doors, notice it says it's jammed and only be opened with raw power. When I try to open it as is, I am sadly just too weak. In fact, the game even says you are too weak. So let's get up to this guy, see if we can get the backstab. There it is. Do some good bonus damage there. He just decided to throw a brick at me. Now here, I'm just going to get the kills as quickly as I can. We are racking up some tech scrap. And this enemy, you have to be a little bit cautious with, simply because he does have a weapon. And if we allow him to hit us, that's going to do a lot of damage. Now we can't do any dismemberment, no live severing, until we have our Exo-rig.
You! Please, you gotta let me out. I'm not a criminal. Just an average Joe.
That is Benjamin Burke, and if his voice sounds a little bit familiar and you played the Surge 1, we heard him, but we never saw him. He spoke to us a few times in Central Production B, and he told us that he was going to meet us in the Reserve Biolabs, but he never made it. And now he's trapped behind one of these doors that we can't open because, again, we're just too weak.
I'm scared shitless.
We have this door that we can open just by interacting with that panel, but first, let's just loop around, carefully traverse this path. That'll get us a piece of tech scrap. Consuming that will give us 100 tech scrap, but we can't even access inventory again until we have that Exo-rig. Inside this room,
This is Garcia speaking. The creature has made its way to the maximum security ward. Dozens of prisoners have escaped from their cells. It's a massacre out here.
that was Warden Garcia. We'll be running into him momentarily, but you can see security breach, unidentified entity observed. Well, we've already seen that unidentified entity. That door would just allow us to loop back to the medical room where we woke up in. Nothing that we need at this moment. Yet another first aid station. Not going to use it just now. Although it's not the worst idea because we do have a mini-boss coming up in the JCPD armory. And that would be Nitro Johnson.
You can mess with me until you're dead.
Now with Nitro, let's take a look at his body. Right now I have this circle on his head. That means that he is unarmored on his head. But if I switch to his arms, or his chest, or even his legs, you can see that that little shield icon means that that is armored, and that means that my weapons are going to do significantly less damage to that. And since I can't dismember, there's absolutely no reason for me to go after anything but his unarmored head. Now don't be greedy against Nitro. All I want to do is get 1 or 2 hits in, then back off because I can't even dash right now. So bait and attack, especially if it's a combo like this one. I'm going to allow myself to get 3 hits there, and there we go. With him dead, we get the Officer Johnson keycard, but we can't even go into our inventory to read anything about that just yet. If we try to go back, the door is now jammed, and since this door is also jammed, we only have one place to go. But before we do that, take a look at this locker. You may think that we can use that keycard we just got, but we cannot. We're going to have to actually get the keycard from Benjamin Burke for that. So interacting with this panel, and now it's time to don our new rig. But before we do that, let's listen to a little bit about the MG Exo-rig.
You are now eligible to redeem your customized MG Exo-rig Mark 12. Surgery is a thing of the past. The new MG is faster, more powerful, and sleeker than ever. Once you strap it on, it'll meld with your molecules in a flash. The metamorphosis is so seamless, you'll neither know nor care which functions are still performed by your own body. Let MG take control of your nervous system and take back control of your life.
So that audio tape actually just told us that unlike in the Surge 1, there's no more surgery. This is all done through simple fusion of some sort. And in order to get it started, all we need to do is approach the medbay and interact.
Welcome, Officer Johnson. Rig installation in progress.
So here we have some information about using the medbay. It talks about the power core module, talks about tech scrap, health, and stamina. It also talks about battery. But instead of looking at that tutorial, let's take a look at the actual screen itself. So you can see on the left-hand side, if I hold in X, I could level up. It's going to take 388 tech scrap. Currently, I have 540 down in the bottom left. I could also bank that, which means that I would deposit it into the medbay instead of using it, which doesn't power me up, but it does allow me to use it at a later date if I don't want to risk using it or having it on me out in the field. I can also disassemble any metal scrap that I have on me right from this screen. You can see in the top right, holding in the right on the directional pad would use that one small piece of tech scrap, so that 100 tech scrap has now been deposited to me. I start with 10 core power, and core power is going to be utilized by armor and implants, which currently we don't actually have any except the implants that we start with, but we'll be looking at those momentarily. If I level up, which I will go ahead and just level up once, which is all we can afford right now, my core power goes up by 1 and I gain 2 module points. Those module points, you can see right in the center, can be used on health, stamina, or battery efficiency. Instead of energy, this game now uses battery efficiency or battery power. Each dismemberment or use of an injectable is going to use one of those battery blocks, and I gain those battery blocks by fighting enemies, by defeating enemies. I can increase the amount of battery just simply by adding a point to there. You can see it goes from 100 to 106. Stamina go from 150 to 153, or health would go from 300 to 308, and I can divvy these points up at any time. Now once I have them, and I'm just going to put 2 points into health for now, I need to accept it. Once I have accepted this though, I will have opportunities later in order to redistribute points at the cost of some tech scrap. Some other things to note from this screen. We also now have some elemental defense that we need to worry about. Fire, electro, poison, and nano. And it also mentions the current damage we're doing, which is 64. We're doing 12 impact. We have an attack speed of 100%, which is just normal attack speed, and we have a 0% energy gain. That doesn't mean we're not going to gain energy from attacks. It means there's no bonus being applied to our current weapon. We can also look at gear. If we take a look where we're using the HL1 defibrillators, this is the weapon that we start with. We do not have any armor currently. We don't even have any schematics that we can utilize. But if we look at this does allow us to read any information about this. There's not too much information to be gained from the early gained weapons, but some of them later on will tell us a little bit more about the story. But let's look at the implants. Implants are all hot swappable here in the Surge 2, which means that these implants can be changed on the fly, even outside of a medbay at any time, which is great. In the Surge 1, only certain ones were hot swappable. Right now we start with 2. The metavoltaic injection takes 0 core power consumption. It does allow for 2 max precharges, 0 precharges at medbay, and restores 80 HP per battery usage. Now a precharge means that when we are at full health, if we have a full battery charge remaining, which the battery charges do drop off over time, we can store that as a precharge, which means that even if we have no battery remaining, if we have a precharge stored, we can use it to heal. We also have the Omni Health Observer at 0 core power consumption, and this, just as it says, displays the health and the stability bars of any enemy that's been locked on. Without this, we cannot see their health and we don't know how much stability they have left. Currently we only have 4 implant slots, but that will increase as we increase our core power. Now we can finally also take a look at our inventory. This is the quest log. This is currently what we are working on. Escape the prison, and we need to free Benjamin Burke, which we can do now that we have an Exo-rig. But as we cycle through, we also have some quest items. Here is the key card of Officer Johnson. Here's the one for the medical staff. Not a whole lot of information there. We do have the audio logs, so if we wish to go back and listen to these at any time, we can. It also sometimes gives you a little bit more information. For example, this is potentially Dr. Alexei. And as far as inventory goes, right now we have none. The only one that we've collected so far is that tech scrap.
Rig installation complete.
At this point, not only can we open up those doors, but we can start salvaging some of the gear that the enemies have. For example, this next enemy, if we want that spear, we can collect it. In order to do so, I'm going to wait until she faces me, bait an attack, and I want to focus strictly on that arm if at all possible. Now to get a dismemberment, I do have to have a full battery charge available, which I do. There is the sever. And this is going to give us the salvage gouger. So this is a new weapon to us. This is going to be a spear class. I can equip it straight from here. I can compare it, or I can just go right into my inventory to learn a little bit about it. So I'm doing 79 damage with the gouger. It does less impact than the defibrillators, but I do gain some attack speed, 25% energy gain, which is really nice, but it does take a little bit more stamina. But what I can do is I can favorite both of these. That way, when I'm not in my inventory, I can very quickly switch simply using up on the directional pad. Now we'll be talking a little bit about the combat and the combos as we go through, but just to give you a really quick primer, once again, the right bumper is going to give you your horizontal attacks, your right trigger is going to give you your vertical attacks, but if you hold in the attacks, you can actually hold it and do some special combos there. That was the horizontal attack, here's the vertical. And then with the spear, there's just a simple poke. There's the R2, nice leaping poke attack. Really, really useful. So before we push forward, let's do a little bit of backtracking, and let's open up some of those doors that previously were locked to us. We have another enemy here with another weapon that we can take on. So before I work on any sort of blocking, I'm just going to try and focus on getting this weapon, baiting an attack, wait until I get that prompt to dismember, leap over, cut off the arm, and now I get the equalizer. So the equalizer, this is a heavy duty weapon, damage of 80, 24 impact, slower speed, only 95% speed, but 70% energy gain. Definitely has its usage, but 135% stamina consumption. So if you're going to be playing as a heavy character, you may want to focus on upping that stamina.
You can probably pry this door open if you get hold of one of the officer's exo-rigs. Shit. Thank you. I was beginning to lose hope. I'd love to repay you, but as you might guess, I'm a bit broke right now. I hope I'll see you again. Ben Burke never leaves a debt unpaid.
Let's talk a little bit to Ben Burke before we let him go.
I heard there's an evacuation camp in the city. Gateway Bravo or something. Gonna try my luck there. I always wanted to be a search and rescue guy. Maybe we'll see each other around. You heard about CREO, right? Well, I was there. Damn government dudes came. Thought I was finally safe, but they wouldn't let me go. Even after I told them all about what happened. Something like a power surge went through the whole system. Melted circuits and brains alike. And the whole damn factory tore itself apart. I lost my whole team in there. Even Smithy. But this time, I swear I'll keep people safe. No, damn it, I'm not okay. Haven't been okay in weeks. People are killing each other for scraps out there. It's complete anarchy. I can only pray we make it out in one piece. But even if we do, I have no idea what's waiting for us. Come to the evac camp. I'll be there.
And he's not kidding. At this point, that is not the last time that we'll be seeing Benjamin Burke, but we did get his keycard. Now I'm going to do just a tiny bit of backtracking here to where it all began, because I want to get to this first aid station, and since I'm at full health, you can see that I now have a 1 to the top right of the metavoltaic injection. That is a pre-charge. That will allow me to use it despite not having any battery if I need it. I could go through and kill some of these enemies again, but I have no need, so instead, we're just gonna go down here, kill only the ones that we have to. Quick dispatch by getting the backstab. Mixing up my combos with the horizontal and the vertical attack, although with the spear it's not the greatest option. Let's just use the equalizer. Notice there, I was actually mid-attack and I was able to cancel that by using the block, which again is gonna be done with that left bumper. Now the tutorial right here that popped up is saying I can use that last remaining battery bar to add another pre-charge, which is what I'll do now. Now the metavoltaic only has a maximum of 2. Let's get a slide attack here. Very, very effective with the heavy weapons. I do enjoy that. So this first aid station won't do me any good, might as well just leave it alone. And inside here, until we have a specific drone module, we won't be able to go any further because it is looking for the EMP-44 Starfish, but I do have an audio log.
Hey, it's me. Yeah, the number gave it away. I heard they offered you the job. Sorry. I wanted to tell you at the right time. The right time? Open your eyes, Garcia. There's never gonna be a right time. It's not gonna change anything between... I know, that's not what this is about, okay? Just take care, okay? This thing is dangerous. I'm sorry. So am I. We'll talk, okay?
So we had an audio log there between the Warden Garcia and one of his friends. Over here we do have a video if you want to watch it, otherwise you can just skip ahead a little bit.
Emergency broadcast system. Jericho City is under siege. As you know, nanites of unknown origin have descended all over town. The lockdown has lasted for almost 2 months now. Communication with the outside world has been cut off for almost as long. So, to mitigate the spread of a lethal nanite plague known as Defrag, government forces have been working around the clock to evacuate one district after another. A state-of-the-art containment wall has been erected to quarantine the area at the center of the outbreak. Stay vigilant. Stay strong. But most importantly, stay inside.
We get a little bit of information from Major General Ezra Shield talking about the containment, talking about the quarantine, but also talking about the possible nanite plague known as the Defrag, which was caused due to the Utopia rocket that was launched in the Surge 1 despite Warren's best efforts and even defeating the Rogue process. With Benjamin Burke's card, we can open up his locker, and inside we get a new weapon, the empty INF Labs chassis. This is going to be a one-handed weapon. You can see 78 damage, only 17 impact, 100% attack speed, so faster than the equalizer, 35% energy gain, which is less than that but more than some of the others, and only 90% stamina consumption. Pretty fun little weapon. I usually like to have all of them favorited until I find one that I like. So now let's move forward. We can see someone waiting for us at the end of the hallway, but as we start to approach through this jammed door, that is Warden Garcia. You can see just the carnage littering this hallway. He's locked the door on us, nothing we can do about it right now, but we do have a new implant, the directional block analyzer. This is a brand new mechanic for the Surge 2 where it allows you to block in a specific direction to block the incoming attack. If you not only use the right direction, but you time it correctly, you will stun the enemy and allow a massive bonus attack to be had. We are going to definitely use that, even though it takes 5 core power, that's okay, we still have 6 to spare. In fact, let's test this out. Now I'm still gonna focus on the arm that's holding the weapon here, and I'll show you the reason why once I've dismembered it. Okay, I used the directional block, but I didn't time it just right. Let's see if we can try another one. There it is. 401 damage. In fact, that was too much in order to even get the cut, so I think I'll switch to something a little bit less drastic. But that is the directional block in play, and you can see just that massive amount of extra damage that you can do.
Oh my God, what is it? It's coming right at us. Are evasive maneuvers? Take evasive maneuvers! Shit!
Every now and then you're going to run into these echoes that will tell you a little bit about what happened in this facility as we move on. Over here, nothing too interesting, but we do have the CREO Flight 221 evidence. That is the flight that we were on that went down. You can see an enemy there patrolling. This door not going to open for us, but as we start to go through, something is clearly happening up above. We can see the nanite particles starting to stream through that hole. But as we head up topside, here's the enemy that we just saw. Let's see if we can get the arm cut on this one. All right, vastly misplaced that directional attack. Okay, got the block, didn't get the kill though. And that was just a torso cut, so again, no extra parts for us, but that's all right. This one should hopefully be a little bit easier to deal with. Well, there's a block. Let's get a couple of vertical attacks. Not doing great here. I'm going to use one of my pre-charges on my metavoltaic. And is that going to be enough to cut the arm? It is. So a little bit of sloppy play, but as long as we get the dismemberment, notice I'm not getting the weapon again, I'm getting tungsten alloy because essentially I'm scrapping that weapon, and tungsten alloy is what's used to upgrade our weapons. Over here, there's some more metal scrap that's going to be worth 100. It even says, cut weapons you already have in order to craft or get crafting materials. There's again that creature that we've been looking at, kind of tracking him. Left that man alive, but he did just run away from us. You can see exactly where we are in relation to the rest of the facility. Now we can immediately open that door that he was just in. There's the body that he left, there's the hole that he made, and all we have in here is just a little bit more tech scrap. The Surge is all about finding shortcuts and fast ways getting back to the med station, and this right here even says, find shortcuts back to the med bay in order to recover and to craft new gear. Using that panel will open up the gate over to the next zone. As soon as we interact with this panel though, we're gonna have to sprint to the next room, and we will do that, and then we'll go back to the med station. And inside, we get to watch the following scene. So there is Warden Garcia waiting for us. We just saw that unknown entity take out 2 of those security soldiers, but we now have a new automatic inject charger implant. Automatically consume a battery to pre-charge the currently selected injectable right before it would run out. So that means if I have pre-charges available on my metavoltaic currently, in fact I will go ahead and put this on, and I have a battery charge that's about to be depleted, it will automatically store it as a pre-charge. Just something else that you don't have to think about, which is really nice. Now before we go take on our very first boss, which is Warden Garcia, let's use this little bit of a shortcut to head back to the med station, and we should even be able to level up one more time. I think this time we're going to pump it right into stamina, and that's all we need. So our health has been refilled. We don't have to worry about that. Let's kill this enemy really quickly, might as well. Just go for her arm again. Oh, except I got the kill, that's all right. We can store another pre-charge, which is perfect. Head in through the security hallway, and it's time to take out Warden Garcia. Warden Garcia is just a humanoid enemy, but he does have a drone, and we have to worry about some of his attacks that actually can't be blocked, but most of them can be, and we will be focusing on some of those directional attacks. but I am going to be using the defibrillators. And here he comes charging right at us. There's the leap attack, which is one of the easiest to punish, I think, with the directional. You do have to watch out for those. Oh, there's the drone coming at us. We just want to get a couple of hits in and then watch out for when he fires those projectiles. Watch the drone. Once again, there is that perfect directional block. Walk away. Focusing on his right arm. That is the weapon wielding arm. We want to do enough damage so that when it comes time to kill him, we can get the sever and then we can get his weapon. A little bit of damage from the projectiles, that's okay. You can see there I'm really trying to bait that jumping attack because it's definitely one of the easiest to punish, in my opinion. Now I am going to use one of my metavoltaics just because I know that it'll top me off and I can just immediately get another pre-charge. Now that was a poor directional. In fact, you can see I didn't even block it and things are not looking great. I think what I'm going to do is switch to my spear a little bit. There's a good hit. Top it off once again. And just not getting greedy here. Watch that projectile attack after his combo. And there's one of the attacks that you cannot block. When you see that it has the shield with kind of a line through it, that means there's nothing you can do. You are not blocking it. Back up. Let's try a nice charge R2. Oh, but he caught me in the middle of it, so that wasn't very good. There we go. Good damage there. Nice charge attack with the spear is something that can close distance really, really quickly. Back up. Watch the combo. There's the projectile. Of course, I should have anticipated that. There it is again. Back up. Watch the drone. I'm going to use a metavoltaic here. We have him pretty low. 73 damage, nothing too great there. There's a projectile. A couple more good pokes. I'm going to use the metavoltaic again, but we almost have him. Saving up my battery charges at this point so I can definitely get the dismemberment. There it is, almost have him. Let's go up with another poke. Ooh, not quite. How to poke here? Ooh, we are not looking great for getting the cut.
Owner killed in action. Assigning drone to nearby police Exo-rig.
So as you can see, I did not get the cut because I didn't do enough damage because I didn't get that shield down. Now I'm going to cut here to a successful cut so you can see that you do get both the schematic for his arm as well as his weapon. So enjoy that clip here in just a moment. By focusing purely on his right arm, when you get the kill, you do get the MG Jackknife Pro. That is the special hardcore kill. But we also do get his drone regardless of the type of kill we get, and we get the schematic AID Nightfall arm gear because we cut off his arm. And if we take a look specifically at that weapon, this does 82 damage, 28 impact, a lot of impact, 95% attack speed, 100% energy gain, and 110% energy consumption. It is a fantastic little weapon. And if you want to read a little bit about it, it does talk about how this is the pro model, and this does belong to the MG security individuals. But we did also get the schematic. Now in the Search 2, every armor set has both a partial set bonus and a full set bonus. If we collect 3 of the pieces of this set, it would give us increased drone damage when it's close to the target, and if we get all 6, whenever a battery is filled, we restore a small amount of health. But this is not the arm piece itself, we do have to craft this at a med station. You can see my battery there is about to be depleted, so I was just going to use it, get a little bit of health back. Now, it talks about the drone modules, and you can see next to our health and our stamina and our battery, we also have new symbols indicating the drone that we have selected as well as the ammunition that it uses. Let's go back into the gear, and here we have two different drone modules. We have the SNR drone module, which it takes no omnicell consumption, which is the ammo, but it does use all of our tech scraps to transport us away from danger and back to safety. We also have the R1 diode laser pistol, which consumes 1 omnicell per use, but it can damage enemies, but it can also be used to pull enemies away. So we have both of these favorited. In order to send these out, we're going to use left on the directional pad. You can see I'm switching between both of them. Now, if I hold it in, I can actually bring up this radial. So I'm going to use the diode laser pistol for a little bit, and we are almost done with this first section, but this right here, this nanite swarm, this is an echo.
Excuse me, can I get my flight, please? Oh, right, sorry. I'm Athena Guttenberg.
The only other Guttenberg we know was Jonah Guttenberg from the Surge 1, who is the founder of CREO. And inside this loot container, we get a girl's toy.
Go to Port Nixon. Find the plane.
And Athena is telling us to head to Port Nixon and find the plane, the one that she supposedly was on as well. Now, we will find lots and lots of ammo for our drone. We call it out by using Y, and then we fire by using it again. More omnicells over here. Make sure we pick them all up. And then that's the way forward, but really we want to sprint and jump. You can sprint and jump by clicking in the left analog stick while you're sprinting. Some more omnicell, and here we gain a full battery charge. When we pick this up, you can see 1 full battery charge was given, which I can immediately store into my metavoltaic. More omnicells, and then down here, just one simple small pile of metal scrap for 100 tech scrap.
Hello? Can you hear me? My name is Brother Truman. I'm waiting outside. Take care of those guys, and I'll turn on the lift.
We have 2 enemies up there, both with low health. I do want to show over here, if you sprint to jump off, you will jump over the railing. That just puts you back into the security corridor, so no need to do that. Let's call out our drone, kill 1,
Well done.
and kill 2.
The lift should work again.
There's the magnetic lift. And here we are following the voice of Brother Truman heading to Jericho downtown, but that is going to do it for the very first episode of Everything Possible in the Surge 2. I'm having a lot of fun with this game. I hope you get a chance to try it out yourself, and if you learned something, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you learned. And if I missed something, or if you have another tactic that works for you, share that in the comments so we can all keep learning. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.